Hi, welcome to Friday Tips with Fenz down here at the Watts Factory, the nerve centre of FTP training down here in Yarra. Okay, so this Friday we're going to be looking at what to do in that week leading up to the big event. It may be a target race that you've got planned, or it may be a big endurance ride or race. Could be the mountain bike or a road event. So the principles are exactly the same, and it all comes down to really getting prepared. There are some fundamental things that you really need to get sorted out maybe a week or two before the actual event has started, and that's make sure you get your bike and take it down to your local bike store. You know, taking it down to your local bike shop and make sure that everything is working properly. There's nothing worse than putting all the effort and training in only to find on race day that you've got a split sidewall on your tyre, or your tyre's nearly bald, and you get multiple punches while you're out there on the trail. So take it down to your local bike shop. They'll make sure that everything's running smoothly. New cables, tyres, inner tubes, etc. will really make sure that your bike will run perfectly for you come race day. Another thing to consider is the course itself, the actual the actual park course that you're going to be riding on. Obviously, understanding that, getting a real good map of that in your mind, so that you may have 2 or 3 big climbs to get over. You may have some technical sections, and then getting that mental focus, that mental ability to understand where that course is. Hopefully you'll have had a chance to pre-ride it before, and you'll know what's coming up. Again, knowing the course, knowing the climbs, knowing the descents makes a much better effort for you to really get the best out of yourself. Okay, so getting all that prepared, very important. Think about the time that it's going to take you to get to the event. So you get there in plenty of time to warm up. You're not going to be stressed already before you've started. So plenty of time, get all that planned and dialed. You want to be thinking about your nutrition and hydration plan for the race and in the few days leading up to it. I'll talk more specifically about nutrition in another Friday Tips. And we'll look at exactly what quantities you're going to be wanting to take on board. But in real theory, you really want to make sure that you've been trialling what you're going to race with during training. It's no good popping down to your local bike shop the day before the event and buying a whole load of new gels, new bars, new energy drink, only to find that it upsets your stomach because it's got too high levels of magnesium or something that doesn't respond well in your body. So get all that dialed in the weeks leading into the event, and again, you're going to perform perfectly when the day of the event comes. Okay, so that morning of the event, you get down there, everything's planned, everything's dialed, and everything's great. You have to think about the eventualities of that race. How are you going to pace yourself when you go out the gun? Looking around you, are there riders there that you ride of a similar pace? The thing is, by thinking about other riders, is you take away the focus from yourself. So again, have an idea of the ability that you have, the heart rate you can sustain for that duration, or a power output that you're not going to go above, because that too long above in VO2 sense at the beginning of the ride means you might blow up and have a shocking rest of the ride. So again, don't get too caught up with other riders, because often you can't control them, and they may go out like a bull in a china store. You go off to try and match them because you want to try and win the race, and all of a sudden you'll blow up, and the people that have just taken it relatively steady, had a good start and maintained a good pacing strategy, come flying by you and you can't respond. So again, focus on your controllables, not on others. Only when it gets right into the nitty-gritty of that race can you start to respond to stuff and really start to actually race those people. Most of the time, to get your personal best, it's better to focus on the things that are in your control. Okay, so you're getting on the start line, you've had your good warm-up, everything's going great, you've started, fantastic, everything's going gangbusters. Then the wheels fall off because something that you haven't again pre-planned for happens. Have you become efficient at changing a tyre? Are you efficient at ripping, a tubeless off, for instance, and putting in an inner tube when there's all the goo and gunk there? Can you fix your chain? All of these sorts of things are things that a lot of people, even some very good racers and riders, do not really have dialed. And when it comes to it in a race situation, all of a sudden, that thing that should take 2 minutes takes 10, and it's game over. So again, getting them things dialed beforehand means that when it comes to the race situation, you're not going to be left floundering at the side of the trail or on the road. Alright, so look, just a few handy tips to make sure that you get the very best out of your performance in whatever your given event. I hope that helps, and I look forward to catching you out in the trail. See you later. Bye-bye.